Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, Holiday Inn Express, the Ocean City Golf Club, Comfort Inn, Russell Street Report, the original Green Turtle, and hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
In April 1959, Art Wall won the Masters, edging out Carey Middlecoff and Arnold Palmer by finishing birdie, 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 par birdie. 1 month later, Ocean City Golf Club celebrated the opening of their first 18 holes. That course has been transformed now into one of the most scenic golf layouts on the East Coast. Come experience 36 of the most beautiful and challenging holes you'll find anywhere. Ocean City Golf Club in Ocean City, Maryland.
Green Turtles Ravens Wrap Show here on Comcast Peach TV. And the home of the Ravens on the Eastern Shore, the strongest Eastern Shore affiliate in Maryland and Delaware for the Ravens, 93.5 The Beach. Don't forget, game time coming up at 8:20, pregame at 7:50 on 93.5 The Beach if you're listening on the radio. We are broadcasting from the Ravens Room, 127th Street and Coastal Highway at the Blue Ox. Ravens Roos 44, give yourselves a hand. It is Steeler Week. A couple things to let you know about. Next week, because of the Thanksgiving holiday, we are not going to have a show next week. Wanted to let you know, too, we are making it more than worth your while to come on down to these Ravens shows. Not only do we have a free night stay at the Holiday Inn Express, which is a great time this time of year, I should say, to get that because you can do a lot of holiday shopping. We're also giving you a chance to see the Ravens in action at M&T Bank Stadium. The next drawing we're going to have is going to be the Wednesday before the Redskins game in December. And we're hoping to have Billy Carter from BJ's down, just like we have Bucksy from Bucksy Salty Dog for the Steelers week. We're hoping to have him down in a few weeks. Another bragging rights type game between the teams. So we're hoping to have him. So come on down every Wednesday at the Blue Ox, 7 o'clock. Hope to see you here. Ravens tickets and more to give away. Also, we got the Gecko to give away as well. Mike Bradley, Bobby Vermillion, Bucksy, and John Gehrig all joining us here on the panel that is. And guys, to go over once again the 55-20 win over the Raiders, we talked offense, and we'll get to defense in just a second. You know, the Ravens often have been accused of not throwing the ball over the middle, and Cam Cameron, and not working in between the numbers. Well, just to let you know, folks, of the 341 yards that Joe Flacco threw for on Sunday, 314 were thrown inside the numbers against the Raiders for 3 touchdowns at that, averaging 15 yards a pass, and 10 of his 18 completions gained at least 15 yards. And he was 8 of 13 for 146 yards and 3 touchdowns on play-action passes. So, you know, even though, as we talked about, the run game actually over the last couple of weeks for the Ravens, the average carry for Ray Rice, 3.78. But the bottom line is you got to keep the defense honest, Bobby. You got to keep going with it because you never know when you're going to break that big run. And it's something that hopefully we're going to continue to work at because we still have a pass-to-run ratio of roughly 35-22. That's got to come down a little bit. But, hey, play action was huge. Torrey Smith with 2 long touchdowns. Jacoby Jones had a 47-yard catch. It's the Eric Coryell offense that we always envisioned here. Now we've got the players to do it, but when Cam commits to the run, wow, those pass plays are open.
Well, you never thought you'd hear Eric Coryell and Ravens offense in the same sentence, I'll tell you that. But I will say, you know, we talked about this last week, and that is time of possession. You know, if you're not moving the chains, you're not going to have the ball a lot, and Ray Rice is not going to get his touches. If you're not converting on 3rd down, well, that wasn't an issue this week. I think the issue was we got ahead and they didn't have to use him as much. But the other thing is you're going to see a guy that who we really like as Ravens fans is Bernard Pierce. He's a guy who we think can be a really good running back. He's got a lot of talent. The owner, Steve Bisciotti, was here a couple weeks ago, Bucksy, and he was really high on him. As a matter of fact, he mentioned that he was prepared to walk away from Ray Rice if they couldn't get a deal done because they were that high on Bernard Pierce. So you may see him emerge a little bit in the second half of the season, and don't be surprised if he may get some touches in Pittsburgh this week.
Believe it or not, I've watched pretty much every Ravens game this year, and don't tell anybody. But,
well, I've done the same with the Steelers.
Yeah, there you go. But Pierce is really he's when their offense is down, he always gives them a lift. And he's a nice added boost to him. And
a nice change of pace guy.
He's very impressive.
I'm sorry, guys. You're not going to pay the man $8 million a year or whatever it is to give the ball to someone else. You know, Ray Rice.
They've done it every year. They had Ricky Williams before Bernard Pierce. And if you want to keep Ray Rice around, yes. And
this is a society where every kid in Little League gets a trophy. Barack Obama wants to pay for everyone's condoms. All right, everybody gets something. All right, so you pay the man. You pay the man all this money, and then, but don't work too hard, okay? You take a break and give the ball
Bucksy, you see what we have to do?
Wow, now I know why I'm in between you guys.
I'll use a statement from Herm Edwards. John,
there's a short shelf life for running backs.
You play to win the game.
And I think Pierce only helps Ray Rice.
There you go. And that's what we think
it's
too,
an added
Bucksy.
dimension.
And I did see
pay the man and give him the carries.
Ray Rice wanted to get back into the game. I saw that on the sideline. They wouldn't let him back because they're trying to save him. There's no use in putting him out there for a quarter and a half of meaningless football to get him hurt against the Steelers that we have for 2 or 3 weeks.
I'm not saying that. But when Ray Rice, look at the tape, when Ray Rice drives the ball down the field, you know what I mean? They get to the 20-yard line, and then Bernard Pierce comes in for 2 plays in a row, and the next thing you know, it's 3rd and 8, incomplete pass, kick a field goal. Just keep Ray Rice in the game.
Well, what happens when Bernard Pierce goes around the edge?
We don't need Bernard Pierce to get 2 carries and put us in the pickle.
Take that up with the coaches. They control his playing time, not Ray Rice.
Look, you know, imagine you're a police officer, right? And you have all these weapons. And one of your weapons is a knife, another weapon is a nightstick, and another weapon is a gun, all right? Well, Ray Rice is the gun. So if you're gonna arrest someone, a big criminal, you don't pull out your nightstick. Freeze. Or I'm going to hit you with my nightstick.
No, but if you're out of bullets, you pull out the nightstick. If your gun's out of bullets,
it's just James Bond. You pull out your gun and you say freeze.
If the gun's not getting it done, man, you pull out the
knife. There you go.
So you tell me Ray Rice doesn't get it done?
Whenever they start throwing stuff, make sure it's directed at gun. I'm sticking up for you guys, but no.
Use the gun.
All right.
Ray Rice is the gun.
Well, moving on from the game, I want to talk a little defense here, but wrap it up with the offense. Good job of the Ravens. 3-1 turnover battle. The Raiders 3 turnovers. The Ravens just won on a batted pass, ended up being an interception for Joe, but he had 3 touchdown passes. The Ravens scoring on 5 of their first 6 possessions. But let's go down the line. Let's talk about the defense. Dean Pease, who has been under fire, I think, from some fans because he's a new defensive coordinator. And, oh, by the way, the Ravens defense hasn't played as well. But there are a lot of factors to that. Look, he's very highly regarded. I've said this before. A very highly regarded defensive coach, a smart guy. He's fine. It has nothing to do with him taking over as to why we've had issues. By the way, they are number 1 in the red zone in the NFL red zone defense, that is. But he came out, he mixed it up. That looked like the defense of last year and the defense of old. A lot of different blitz schemes. They forced Carson Palmer to throw short underneath. Then they wrapped up. They tackled well. They came out with that, I think, dollar package they called it. 2 defensive linemen, 6 linebackers, and 3 backs or something of that nature that they mixed in. They even had Courtney Upshaw at defensive tackle at one point. He had a really good game plan going in. And, Carson Palmer was sacked, pressured, and hit several times in that game.
Well, Mike, we talked about this earlier this year, and everybody, before the season started, wanted to talk about how old the Ravens' defense was. Well, that's not true at all.
It's not old, man.
It's not old at all. You take away Ed Reed and Ray Lewis, who Ray's obviously not playing right now, and you've got a pretty young defense there. You know, with Suggs back, you saw a lot of moving parts this week on defense. Dean Pease really did a great job, as you alluded to, moved Upshaw around. You saw a lot of different blitz packages. I think he's doing a good job, and I think the good news is, last week we saw some progress. We saw some young guys. I was critical of Paul Kruger last week. I think he had a good game this week. You know, I think Upshaw is continuing to get better. So there's some positive signs on the defensive side of the football. Jimmy Smith being hurt, a little concerning. Obviously, we just picked up a cornerback, Chris Johnson. Yep. We'll see how much he plays, but doesn't look like maybe Jimmy Smith's going to be healthy for a while. So that could be big, particularly in Pittsburgh this week when you're looking at the receivers they have, although Antonio Brown probably won't play as well. So it'll be interesting to see. I think Dean Pease has to have some credit, like Cam Cameron this week, because he did a good job. The one thing he did mention this week is the Ravens still gave up a couple big plays. They've got to stop giving up the big plays. Hayward Bay, a couple other big plays.
That was on Ed Reed from his inability to tackle because of his shoulder situation.
And give Ed Reed credit. Ed Reed came out this week and said, hey, he played a bad game.
He did.
Well, you know, guys, it's great. I mean, you're right. I can't argue with the numbers. The Ravens had a pretty good game all the way around, but you got to remember something. And this is just projecting. We have to be careful about projecting this game forward. The Raiders, you know, Darren McFadden's their best player. No McFadden, no Goodson. you have a player, Marcel Reese, who's their starting running back, who's had one carry in his career. All right, and you have some other dude that they brought up from the practice squad the day before. So you had one combined carry in the careers of the running back for the Oakland Raiders. So obviously no respect for the running game whatsoever. So Dean Pease had, that's why he could roll with the dollar package, because Carson Palmer.
Well, he also rolled with the dollar package because we were 20 up. If the game's a 3-point or 7-point game, you got a whole different defensive scheme, and they're going to try to run the football.
Well, it's better than the alternative. I mean, the bottom line is we haven't stopped anybody this year, so it's a start. You're absolutely right.
I'm not downgrading the performance. Yeah. I'm just saying we can't project. We're still 26th ranked defense in the league. We can't project success against these good offenses coming forward when we have a team that's completely one-dimensional, has zero running game.
Bucksy, I'm just trying to get him to see the glass half full rather than half empty.
Man, it's way empty over here. And you guys are what, 7-2?
Right, exactly.
Hold on.
That's what you've been saying all year.
The glass overfloweth. I just try to keep it real. I think
he's got a sippy cup. He's got a sippy cup over there.
I take off my purple glasses and try to give good analysis. That's why everyone tunes in to the Ravens.
So where have you been the last couple of weeks?
Right. I got Nielsen ratings.
I got kicked off.
Well, Bucksy, you know with the Steelers a little bit of changeover.
Flacco's not a good quarterback. I get kicked off the show.
You guys are having a little bit of changeover defensively. We're trying to mix some young guys in. Brian Hall, D'Angelo Tyson, some defensive linemen mixing in. We're trying to find some guys the right combination. You got some young guys like a Ziggy Hood, for instance, that you're mixing in there as the defensive line starts to go through some changes and all that. Keenan Lewis promoted a cornerback this year with William Gay going to the Cardinals. So, you see that a little bit, and you're just trying to find the right guys out there and get the right combination.
It's just a matter of time when they start gelling. Because, at the beginning of the season, after Steelers lost first, second game, they were old. They were done. And all of a sudden, the last 3-4 games, they're the elite team.
They're the number one defense right now.
They are number one. That goes Dick LeBeau, and I think it's the schemes, and it's fitting everyone in. It just takes a while, and it's who's going to gel the next 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
Yeah. There's no question offensively it's going to get tougher from here on out. No matter who's a quarterback, the Steelers still have weapons. We'll talk about that coming up. San Diego.
And they still have a great defense.
Yeah, say what you want about San Diego, but we got run off the field last year. They still have weapons, and when Rivers on, he's on. We'll see against us whether that's the case or not. You got the Mannings to compete with, et cetera. So there's no question about that, but it's a good start for the Ravens. It's good to see the young guys. And hey, Kerry Williams, again, he's the lone guy out there. Jimmy Smith didn't play because of the hammy. Webb's out for the season. He got tested vertically deep, and I think of 9 times they threw his way, only 3 completions for about 27 yards it was. 3 for 7, that is 27 yards. He didn't give up any deep plays, which is huge because they love to stretch the field vertically. So it was a good job. And let me speak about special teams, by the way. 2 of the best punters in the league, Shane Leckler and Sam Cook, over 50 yards a punt in this game. So it doesn't matter the field position. Those guys completely turn it. But we've got a lot more to get to. It is Steeler Week. We're going to start to delve into that and the rest of the AFC North coming up. It is the Ravens Wrap Show on Comcast Beach TV.
Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, Holiday Inn Express, the Ocean City Golf Club, Comfort Inn, Russell Street Report, the original Green Turtle, and hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
Welcome to the Comfort Inn Gold Coast. Conveniently located just 1 block from the beach and adjacent to shopping at the Gold Coast Mall and the movie theater. Newly renovated and open year-round with a marvelous bayfront view. Visit us on the web at comfortgoldcoast.com and see our hot deals and great golf packages, or simply call our direct reservation line to plan your stay.